Then, knock, knock, knock. A slow, deliberate rapping on her apartment door. Her stomach twisted. Who would be knocking at this hour? She grabbed her phone. No missed calls. No messages. A cold dread crept up her spine. Maybe it was a neighbor, a drunk stranger. She hesitated, her fingers hovering over the lamp switch. The knocking continued, soft, persistent, almost patient. Her breathing grew shallow. She forced herself to sit up, heart hammering against her ribs. "Don't open it!" The warning came from nowhere, a whisper in the back of her mind. But curiosity was a cruel thing. Sliding out of bed, she tiptoed toward the door. The hallway was eerily silent. She pressed her eye against the peephole. Nothing. Just the dimly lit corridor stretching out, empty. Nina exhaled sharply. Maybe she imagined it. Sleep deprivation played tricks on the mind. She turned away. Knock, knock, knock. She spun back, heart in her throat. The sound was sharper this time, more insistent, a warning. She swallowed hard, staring at the door. "Who's there?" she called, her voice barely above a whisper. Silence. A prickle ran down her spine. She backed away slowly, her fingers hovered over her phone. Should she call someone? Then the doorknob twisted. Nina froze, her pulse roaring in her ears. The lock held, but the knob jerked violently, as if someone was trying to get in. Adrenaline surged through her. She stumbled backward, eyes darting around the room for something, anything she could use as a weapon. Then, nothing. The doorknob stopped moving. The silence stretched, suffocating. Nina's breath came in ragged gasps. She stood frozen, waiting. 5 seconds. 10. A full minute. Still, nothing. Slowly, cautiously, she inched back toward the door, her heartbeat a relentless drumbeat in her chest. She pressed her ear against it. Silence. Maybe it was over. Maybe a single knock, right against the peephole. Nina stumbled back with a strangled gasp. Her phone slipped from her grip, hitting the floor with a dull thud. Something was on the other side, right there, watching. The air in the room turned icy. Her breath came out in small, visible puffs. She scrambled for her phone, fingers trembling. And then, from the other side of the door, a voice, software familiar, her own. "Nina, open the door!" She choked on a scream. Every hair on her body stood on end. Number. No, this wasn't real. She backed away, shaking her head, tears burning in her eyes. The voice repeated, insistent. "Open the door, Nina! I know you're awake!" Her own voice, whispering, mocking. Terror gripped her. She squeezed her eyes shut, shaking. "This is a nightmare! Wake up! Wake up!" Then her phone buzzed, a notification, one new message, from herself. With shaking hands, she unlocked the screen. A single text. "Let me in." The room plunged into darkness. The lamp, the phone screen, everything died in an instant. The knocking returned, louder, more violent, the door shaking in its frame. The whispers multiplied, growing, overlapping, a chorus of her own voice. "Let me in, Nina. You know me. We are the same." She pressed her hands over her ears, sinking to the floor. "This isn't real. This isn't real." The whispers stopped. A thick, suffocating silence followed. And then the door creaked open. A sliver of absolute darkness seeped into the room. The air turned deathly still. Nina's breath caught in her throat. She never unlocked the door. Her body refused to move, paralyzed in pure, primal terror. A single footstep echoed in the silence. And then another. Something stepped inside. The room grew impossibly cold, shadows stretching unnaturally against the walls. Then